possession.
It's a bit hard, but with possession, with that foot down, I think the refs are deliberating that call because they got the timeout marker on the field. We'll send this one over to break. In the meantime, you're listening to KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM, your live source of sports.
And I have no time
Interesting. Just kind of testing it out. Looks like it's working pretty well. Test work.
Take a photo.
Oops. You want to get a little this way?
Yeah, maybe horizontal.
True.
And then maybe it's
So,
bring it back.
I'm down.
I'll count you down.
Wait, let me, tell. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that's Ready?
Yep. Back on the turf, 13-27 is your score. California up by 14. Here comes Plummer right down the middle.
Huge hole for
Breaks open to the open field. Breaks the tackle. Stiff arm by number 25 to go with Brooks.
Brooks back in there. He was started out deep in his own end zone, actually, and a great first down run of 10 plus.
Snags the first down on his own. I believe that was about 11 or 12 yards. As Plummer is now in the gun. He's got three out wide. Takes the handoff, swings it over, and dangerous throw over to Maven Anderson, who's almost picked off by the Aggies defense. And limping just a bit, shaken is the Aggies' cornerback. Nevertheless, it's going to stay on 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Two out wide. Motioning over. There's Jeremiah Hunter, left to right. Now off to Brooks. Brooks breaks open to the left side, towards the left hash. Off to the 16-yard line for the Bears.
Brooks looking at making that second running back spot. He's in the competition with Damian Moore.
Three out wide. Plummer in the gun. Flips it over. Low pass. Caught, though. Nevertheless, leaping in, trying to get the first down. Comes up 1 yard short. is DeCarlos Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's these third down final minutes of action where it really tests these teams, right? Late third quarter, early fourth. It's what you can do during these times of the game that honestly count the most. Can Cal continue to add on to their lead, or will they let it slip away for the Aggies to break free?
Yeah, California electing to punt short fourth down, but in their own territory, play it safe.
Jameson Sheehan, the Bendigo local,
Great hang time there.
picks it back. On the return are the Aggies. Is number 18, Trent
Shifty.
Tompkins, shifty with the ball and the maneuvers, skidding left to right, but stopped behind the 40-yard line.
It's good starting field position for UC Davis. Let's see if they can start eating away at this lead. Apparently, third quarter coming to an end, about 20 seconds left, but we'll have one more quarter for Davis to try to close this 2-touchdown lead.
Yep, should be a good one. About 20 seconds left as a timeout was called on the field. So we'll send it over to some music. You're listening to KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM, your live source for KALX Sports. Back from the timeout break, 13-27 is your score. California up by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. 5 out wide. Ball right now is on the 37-yard line as the clock kept ticking to mark the end of the quarter. The official end to the third period of 4 quarters of play here at Memorial Stadium. Again, 27-13. Joe, I must say, my prediction, we have it on record, on Bear Talk, was 31-13, I believe. Inverse. So right now, that could happen, but probably not because it is 27. Or the Bears are at 27. But nevertheless, close enough, right? I'm like never great with these predictions.
If it's ballpark, We'll give it to you, buddy. We'll have to reassess this on next Bear Talk, but yeah, we should lay down some predictions also for the whole season. Anyways, you can, yeah, if you want to hear more about Cal during the week and news every week about Cal Sport and Cal football this semester, come Wednesday nights, listen to KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM, 9:30 to 10 p.m. every Wednesday, bringing you news and all.
We're on our grind. We're doing the research so you don't have to. By listening in, you'll hear the same names over and over and over. Jack Glover, Jaden Ott, Matthew Sindrick. All of these team captain Daniel Scott, right? All of these big-time players who are going to have some huge seasons. Jeremiah Hunter as well.
Yeah.
Giving you the inside scoop when you can. As the ball is put back on the field again, they flip sides. Now, Davis is working towards the turfed up end zone side of Memorial Stadium. New to this season, as we're almost ready to resume play, but not without some chatter in the background. It's a free t-shirt throw happening in the student section. A lot of the students have already filed out, presumably thinking the Bears have this one in the bag. But again, 2 touchdowns with so much time, 15 minutes to be exact, you can't be too sure. Perhaps it's the heat, perhaps it's just some overconfidence, but hopefully not. As right now, with the ball is Trent Tompkins. As a flag is thrown down on the field, he went forward, curled back towards straight down the right hash mark. And Tompkins gets barely any gain right there.
Plus a holding penalty, it looks like, backing up some more.
And Tompkins, whenever he's in that shotgun snap, you know what's coming. He's running for it. I mean, we haven't even seen him attempt to dish it out yet with his arm. So the Bears, if they can read it well, they're able to get that stop pretty easily as they just did. Now it is 2nd and 17. 3 out wide to the right, 1 out left. Hastings now steps inside. Opts for the short throw off to Alonzo Gilliam Jr., who stiff arms his way to the near sideline. A tackle by Cal's number 33, Miles Jernigan, the redshirt junior, 6'3", outside linebacker. In the gun, wide formation, using every part of the field. Hastings now doesn't waste time, dumps it off to Alonzo Gilliam Jr., who's knocked hard at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, took a shot from
Daniel Scott, that is, number 32 for the Bears, and Owadejo, both collapsing in on Gilliam Jr., who went head first, and now he might be a bit stuck on the field.
It's one of the blockers, actually, that's a little bit down, but Gilliam showing he can do everything. He's a real Swiss Army knife. He can really cut you some breaks having him in your backfield, and a couple pass receptions in a row from Gilliam.
And a very physical game at this juncture of the matchup. Brian Driscoll. No, my apologies. Not Brian Driscoll. That's on the Aggie side of the offense. I believe Jake Parks may have been a bit shaken up. We'll head to the sidelines to rest a bit. Still a stagnant score, 27-13. It is now 4th and 3. 3 more yards to bring it downfield, or else Davis will have to kick it away. as the Bears have a safety way far back. Or receiver, rather. That's Jeremiah Hunter, who slides in, catches it at the 23-yard line. So a very unsuccessful drive for UC Davis. 3 total plays, 7 yards only, as Cal will get the ball back. Total yardage, though, Cal under 300. 298 total yards to Davis's 320. What Cal has been able to get the best of Davis, though, is in passing. Led by Plummer, 205 to 176. Jack Plummer, 18 for 28 on all of his attempts, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, a completion rate of 64%, comparatively to Miles Hastings, who isn't having too bad of an outing himself at 61%. Overall, though, Jack Plummer has that 142.2 quarterback passing rating. The Bears scoring 17 points in the second quarter, 10 in the third, 0 points in that first quarter. But you know what, Joe? 3 years ago, it was kind of the same start. You saw UC Davis run out to a 10-0 lead in the first quarter, holding the Bears scoreless, and it gave a lot of people kind of a scare. You as a sophomore, me as a freshman, that was my introduction to Cal football. But Cal comes marching back with 17 points in that second quarter, while at the same time holding the Aggies scoreless.
Today, though, a bit of a better feeling. I feel like, I don't know, yes, there are a lot of parallels between this game and that previous matchup, but that one felt scarier. Today, I feel like out here observing the new roster, California is having fun. They're really having their way. And it was a really long, broken run play by Gilliam. Other than that, it's been really slow treading for UC Davis. I think as a fan of California football, you've got to be happy with what you see today.
Oh, totally. I mean, you see...
And encouraged, definitely.
Definitely encouraged, very optimistic. You're seeing all of the moving parts coming together for the Bears. Right now, we're at the score line of last time Cal played UC Davis. 27-13 was the final score. Cal winning in that ball game. In that last matchup, they held Davis to 13 points like they are right now. The difference, though, is that they held UC Davis to 264 yards of total offense. Right now, Davis is up, not only up, but at 320 total yards. Defense kind of breaking down, but might need to get some more reps in. Of course, though, when last time they played Davis, it was also their first game of the season for both teams. This is a great UC rivalry that dates back to the 1930s. Overall, Cal was 10-0 in all of those different matchups. And that 27-13 scoreline was remarkably the closest margin of victory for Cal in history of playing UC Davis. Right now, they're back on the field. Let's see if they can get some more points on the board. Plummer now hands it off to his running back, who brings it up a couple yards. It's who else but Jaden Ott, number 6, but now 16 carries on over 82 yards. A long reception of 11 yards, averaging 5.5 per touch. 4 out wide. Plummer now. 2nd and 6. Ball on the 27. Plummer looks over the middle. Quick throw. Quick reception, and the helmet comes off as 3 Aggies collapse in.
Monroe Young on the reception.
Monroe Young, yes. The redshirt senior wide receiver who played in all 12 games of the bench, off the bench last season. Good thing Monroe Young was not shaken up. He got the reception and got the first down. 1st and 10, ball now on the 37-yard line for the Bears. Plummer stepping behind, trying to motion.
It's
Sturdivant out, but it's Ott now. Breaking to the open field, breaks a tackle, jukes a defender out, and brings it up to the 38-yard line. Jaden Ott is just unstoppable this game.
The kind of runner he is one. The balance is incredible. He can make moves in zero space. There's one guy to his right, one guy to his left. He still makes the cut. He still cuts inside, upfield, first down. Great run.
Off the 45-yard marker, here comes Plummer, who throws it over to Maven Anderson, but tackled very, very quickly by number 21, Devin King from the Aggies. That was almost dangerous because King was coming bull rushing his way forward and could have caught that if anything.
Hunter was supposed to be the blocking wide receiver out on that edge. It was just them two isolated. Didn't quite hold that block. Loss of a couple. Great tackle there by 21.
One out wide to the left. That's Maven Anderson now motioning left to right. Plummer takes the handoff. It's a play action. Off to his tight end out on the left side. Breaking his way to the near sideline, off to the 38-yard line is number 34 for the Bears.
Andy Alfieri,
who is one of a couple of options for the Bears. You have Alfieri, you have Latu, and you have Often. 4 out wide. Plummer in the gun. Ott flanking his left. Right at the logo. Checks down over. But the throw is a bit high for Jaden Ott. Incomplete. The ball will be kept on that 42-yard marker. 4th and 7.
And going to bring up a punting situation for California. Kind of pin Davis deep. Thompson back to return inside his own 5 to see what Sheehan can unleash with that Aussie leg.
That nice Aussie leg. 42 yards per punt. As Tompkins will wave it, and he drops the ball. So that one will be kept at the, 12-yard marker, that is. You know, Joe, we talk about Jaden Ott and players like Jaden Ott. The big question mark, right, for any high school recruit is how well can they translate to the next level? Especially the 4-star recruits that Cal has been able to pick up over these years, namely in Jaden Ott, players like Sturdivant, Anderson, some of these freshmen who are ranked very highly. How well will they fare on a collegiate field when there is a crowd 3-4 times the size as you're accustomed to in high school? And Jaden Ott right now, here today on this lovely afternoon in Berkeley, California, is showing up big with a total of 104 yards on 17 carries.
Absolutely, and you're really seeing Jaden Ott establish himself for the rest of the season as that lead back, and you talked about can he make the jump to the collegiate level. It's also can you make the jump from this sort of competition to you're going to have teams coming to town, big names from the Pac-12. We're talking Washington, Oregon coming to town. You're going on the road to play against USC. You got Colorado. Colorado is a pretty good team this year, and that's going to be a critical game too for California. Not to mention, in just a couple weeks, you have a mighty road trip going all the way out to South Bend. Cal is playing Notre Dame.
Yep, and hopefully we'll get some live coverage for you out in Notre Dame. Notre Dame, of course, playing Ohio State today. Lots of college football action all day long. You love to see it.
Yeah.
It's a breath of fresh air for a long hiatus. 13-27. California up by 14 still. Again, they're still held at that score line from 3 years ago. The last time, the Aggies played the Bears. And I remember it like it was just yesterday, Joe. I was a freshman out on that student section, dirting in the summer heat without any suntan lotion on. And I saw the Aggies go up 10 against my Bears, and I thought, is this what college football is made of? Right?
Mhm.
You hear the terms FCS comparatively to FBS. At that time, I really didn't know too much of the difference. But then the Bears came storming back, and every time you think the Bears are down, they give you some reason to think otherwise. As Trent Tompkins is off the snap, runs straight down the A gap, a very predictable play,
Yes.
and a nice stifling stop by the Bears.
A cautionary call on first down gives them just one extra yard to work with, 2nd and 9. But you see Davis now 10 minutes remaining in this game, 10 plus, so got to get working. They're deep in their own territory.
Fakes the handoff. Hastings checks it over to
Larson
number
with a good
3.
move.
Yep, Larson, who caught it.
Gets away from Croteau, the veteran linebacker, in open space in the flat. Sheds a tackle. Tight ropes up the sideline. 6-yard gain.
It's a nice play.
They got some real talent in this backfield for UC Davis, I would say.
They certainly do. I mean, again, on the FCS level, you have a lot of players who have made their names for themselves throughout last season. This is a squad that also has a lot of returners. It's Hastings. Lets it out. Shovels it right down the middle to the 20-yard line or 22-yard line or so. With that catch was Larson again.
That's blowing up, though. Ricky Correa nose guard, having none of it. He strings himself along. Brings up the 4th down. UC Davis going to punt it away. With under 10 minutes, Cal can probably try to eat some clock on this next possession.
Just milk that clock down. Up by 14. If you can get a field goal or a touchdown, even better. But there is no pressure as Hunter will return it. Off at the 40. And he will stop it there. Jeremiah Hunter, who averaged 18.5 yards per catch last season, is wide receiver 1. 6'2", 21 receptions in 9 games last year. And again, he's the only wide receiver here this year for the Bears who has starting experience, in which he only started 1 game. But he's making quite the impact off that Plummer connection as he brings it up to, again, the 42-yard line on the Bears' side of the turf.
Really the star of the game, Jaden Ott. He's going to take another little breather like he did in the second quarter.
Tight formation for the Bears. Off to the running back down the right hash mark. It's DeCarlos Brooks who's checked in for Ott.
He's had himself a good day as well.
And you know what, Joe? I mean, you don't see too much creativity on the offensive plays for the Bears, but you do see a lot of success nevertheless. I mean, it's either that long throw, short pass like that one as Plummer finds a connection down, breaking to the open field and shedding a tackle is number 14, Monroe Young, who brings it up past to the 18-yard line, now in the red zone for the Bears. And I was talking about it. I mean, it's a short pass, long deep ball, a run to Ott. It's basically been 3 different plays in this Musgrave offense, but it's been working out just fine, as you saw right there.
And Plummer displaying why exactly Cal's so confident going out and grabbing this kid and making him the starter, because not only did he evade the rush, but he stood in there, delivered a bullet pass down the side, absolutely perfect pass, velocity, angle, right before he's taken down, hit hard from the behind by 2 defensive linemen for UC Davis. That's exactly what we want to see at Plummer.
1st and 10, Jack Plummer with the Big Ten experience under his belt. Plummer looks to his left. There's one high, but that one is way far out. Past the back left corner of the end zone. couldn't quite locate
Once
Young
again.
this time. Monroe Young, the redshirt senior wide receiver, getting some valuable reps in. It's the redshirt senior connection.
On the
They're late into
carryovers.
the fourth quarter.
Carryovers from wide receiver rooms from the past. Young in here now. With a little bit of experience getting some more snaps and making himself useful today. Couple
Plummer,
catches for
ghosting.
46.
Young left to right after Brooks. Brooks still on his feet, spinning his
Oh,
way
turn.
over to the left hash. It takes 3 Aggies to bring him down.
That's vintage. Carlos Brooks has almost 5 yards per carry today on 5 attempts now. Jaden Ott, he has 17 attempts. He's been a workhorse, averaging 6 yards per carry. Cal in the backfield.
4 out wide, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Brooks flanking his right. It's Plummer. Plummer, quick throw, quick reception. Off to Maven Anderson to the house, mowing his way to a touchdown. California scoring once again, making it look easy here at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, Kavir Baines was out in the flats trying to cover Anderson. No chance, sheds a tackler, tight ropes, and just in time, he had a couple defenders coming from the inside of the field. Maven Anderson gets his first touchdown of the day.
Reception, yep, exactly.
Of
A
the
little
season.
reception and a run as Longhetto will look for the extra point, and he has been too perfect. I mean, right down the middle every single time for Dario Longhetto. I'm starting to believe that he can hit it from 60 yards out. 34-13, Cal up by a huge 21-point margin with 7 minutes left in this fourth quarter. You're listening to KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM, your live source for Cal Sports. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Because they just changed it. It was, instead of Tyson McWilliams. Yeah, 2 number 11s.
I've seen since the last time. Got tickets for the show. Twisting in the club while the sunrise. Sticky like the rays in the summer. Fall out in the plug and I'm gonna find. Way up high with a kite stream away. How do you not trust? I know, honestly, we don't even Clutch like a bag of dust from rush. Black Louie from Carolina and Houdini. I'm about to back then. Couldn't see the G. It's me, no Rini. She couldn't do it, it's too chilly. That's what the Houdini. Plus, cause we're clean. Always been a driver, which I want to bro.
It's cool though. The YouTube stream's working. We should just do this every time, bro. I'm actually, yeah, so I'm not going from here to the computer. I'm going from here to there to the computer.
We can bring it back in 5, 4, 3, 2. The Bears are rolling now here on their home turf, 34-13. 7 minutes left as Longhetto squibs it over to the back of the end zone. This is quite literally their territory against the Aggies. Even though some fans have followed out, it's a very hot, warm, sunny day here in the Bay.
Beautiful one. The
Beautiful.
Bay water shimmering behind us.
Beautiful day, Pepsi in hand.
Beautiful day for some Cal football. Cal Bears making it known that they're back. It's going to be a great season if this continues. And, in the past we've had some criticism, I would say, especially of Musgraves. But
We have.
today's play calling has been sufficient, I'd say. It's shown us everything we need to see.
Jesus, that is an aggressive tackle by Nate Ruchena on number 1, CJ Hudson. Off the reception by Hastings. Out on the right side of the field. 3 out wide. Hastings looks to his left, though. Slings it. Catch is good.
It's a good
At
tackle in
the
there.
33-yard marker. A reception off that straightaway throw to Justin Pereira.
Isaiah Young, quarterback, on the tackle, saves the first down just by a little bit. Third and half a yard.
Hudson motions right to left. Working on the left hash. Off to Gilliam Jr. Gilliam Jr. freight train through the heat.
Yes. And Gilliam Jr. now pushing. That's his 14th rush. He's now got 114 yards. So a 100-yard rusher for UC Davis. Larson's got 14 on the ground, but in total, Gilliam, 8.2 average yards per rush. That's insane.
Crushing it as he trots his way downfield once again.
And new rusher on the field for UC Davis. They have
that's actually
Mateo
number 19.
Perez.
Exactly, number 19. Mateo Perez for the Aggies. Probably giving some rest to Gilliam Jr. as Hastings airs one high. Off to
Perez right there.
was checked in, bouncing out to the far or near sideline, that is, from us.
Yep, he picks up another first down. Aggies have another drive rolling. They're down 21, though, so got to score quick. 5 minutes, 20 seconds and ticking in this fourth.
3 out wide. Here comes Hudden. Off the fake, down the middle. Hastings finds an open man and Lake Thorpe. The junior tight end who moves the chains forward at the 36-yard line for the Bears.
Yeah, and it's a very West Coast college type of offensive vibe for UC Davis. Every other play, a little confusion, pre-snap, a lot of sweeping motions.
But not trying any of those tricky draws or flea flickers. As Hastings goes nowhere, throws it down on the turf because he couldn't find any open man as the Bears came rushing towards him. Smart play, but that speaks volumes to more of his O-line than anything.
Yeah, it's been a pretty solid day tackling, I would say, for California on the defensive side.
3 out wide. Hastings has some words for his offense. The snap, fixed the handoff, rushed off to Gilliam Jr., dumps it out just in time. Gilliam Jr. is bounced out of bounds to the near sideline towards the 30-yard marker. Gilliam Jr., really the biggest and brightest spot for the struggling Aggies at this moment. 115 yards on 14 carries. Hastings now rolls to his right. Flag is thrown and gets another connection to C.J. Hudson at the 25-yard marker. But let's see what the refs call.
Flag was thrown in the backfield. But yeah, as you mentioned, low hit on the quarterback. Oh,
15.
low block, on the defensive end by the offense, 15-yard personal foul, back him up, way back to Aggies go back to the Cal's 46-yard line. But as you mentioned, Gilliam really making everything happen for UC Davis on offense. And a couple plays ago, he got that first down. It was a really veteran, subtle play to see his quarterback in trouble and stretch the field a little bit more. Here, stretches the field once again in the flats, receives it on the right side, tries to do a little stutter step out of bounds. 10-plus yards short of the first. That was third down after personal foul.
Those sideways short throws to Gilliam Jr. is basically as good as just handing it off to Gilliam Jr. in the first place off a draw. Not getting too much yardage there, and the Bears are just locking him down at this point, as they know as soon as he gets that ball, he's running straight forward.
We've got 7 receptions for 35 yards.
3 out wide. Hastings now is running for his life downfield, but finds an open man at the Pac-12 logo at the 24-yard marker, moving the chains forward just when they needed it the most to Trent Tompkins.
It was really good pressure in there from Nate Burrell, defensive end 98 for California. Blew that one up, but pushing Hastings out allowed him to see. He had a couple men running wild downfield, and great completion there.
Now, before this game, Trent Tompkins was the lead rusher in scoring. He had 6 rushing touchdowns last season. Hastings now is
swallowed up
and stifled, sacked by number 33 for the Bears. That's number 33, Miles Jerrigan.
Along with Isaiah Scott crumpling Hastings right there.
The flag was down on the ground.
Hastings had a decent day today, though. He's little adjustment on the clock given by the refs, but Hastings today, he's been 67% from the pocket, and on 32 for 48, he's got almost 250 yards. He does have 2 interceptions to go along with his sole touchdown. So California definitely giving up some yardage all day. As you mentioned, on the ground and the air, both things that Cal want to wrap up. But scoring-wise, they've held their ground, got off the field when they've needed to.
4 out wide, here comes Hastings, down. Line drive pass, and that one's almost broken up. It is broken up.
Daniel Scott making himself known.
Breaking up Fab the second.
Maybe Thad heard his footsteps coming and got a little nervous, too.
Daniel Scott is one of those seasoned veterans. In fact, he is the only player actively on the roster who was at Cal when Justin Wilcox first arrived.
Wow. Comes off for Raymond Woody for the snap.
Hastings over the middle. Almost intercepted. Some miscommunication. Intended receiver was number 82, Chaz Davis, and Lumagia Hearns almost had his hands on him. On the ball, that is. But it was thrown a bit low.
Yeah, Hastings has not really been able to make use of the middle of the field, downfield especially, all day. The unsung hero in that situation has been Craig Woodson. Number 2, he's just sweeping everything up in the middle of the field. Nothing is open. Obviously, Daniel Scott, the vet, out there as well.
40-yard attempt, or 50-yard
7
attempt.
yard.
Sorry, yes, with the, of course, with the end zone.
50-yard attempt, yeah. That is a little bit left. No good. Had just enough air, but tough luck for UC Davis. The deficit will remain 21 as we have under 3 minutes remaining from Memorial Stadium.
As the clock keeps ticking here in the home season opener for Berkeley, California, a lot of the fans have already left the stadium and the stands, at least on that other side of the turf.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that is right in the sun, in the heat. A lot of fans and students out there probably had a very long day, need some rest.
Might have seen what they needed to see. Jack Plummer, though, still out on the field. Oh, no. New quarterback in. That's going to be Kai Milner.
Yes, I was about to say Kai Milner getting a snap in.
Starting
Number
under
2.
center.
It's great to see, and that's when you know you're down bad if you're the Aggies.
Well, California going to use this 21-point deficit to get a little extra snaps in preparation. Kai Milner, backup quarterback, young prospect, very talented with his legs, especially in space. We'll see if his pocket presence can match up. That's one thing we've yet to really see improve from him in training camp. But Kai Milner is somebody who everybody on the team loves. Everybody on the team is confident in going forward. It'll be interesting to see in the next couple of years where Kai Milner stands for California here in the huddle.
Certainly. I mean, Kai Milner, a very high prospect coming out of high school, was in contention for that starting role against Jack Plummer, 4-star out of Arizona. So it's great to see him on the field, and it's great to see the Bears have enough breathing room to kind of rotate through their squad. This time he draws it up over to Carlos Brooks, who's stifled behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, penetration on both sides there from Aggies, good on the defensive line in the trench, but as you mentioned, Kai Milner out there handing it off to DeCarlos Brooks. Milner, he was in that QB competition, and it was a pretty long one. They didn't announce the starter until very late.
Indeed, we were on the ground during those training camps asking Justin Wilcox who's going to get that starting gig, who's going to play against UC Davis, who are we going to see first at that number 1 position for all of Cal's football team. And when it came to Pac-12 Media Day, Justin Wilcox was grilled, and he said, if we had to start one tomorrow, it would be Jack. But here's Kai Milner.
Maybe he'll throw it now. It's 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. He's under center.
Having an opportunity to show off his arm. Instead, he pitches it, though, off to Brooks. Brooks, right to left, shifty and nifty with his footwork, and gets the first down.
Oh, yeah, it's tossed to the right. He makes a perfect vision cut into the middle of the field and splits traffic up for just enough yardage. 13 gained on 3rd and 10, Brooks on the toss.
Just carving up this defense like the prime rib right above us on the 8th floor of the club level. It's been a joy to watch this Golden Bear offense eat up the Aggies.
New member of the backfield in there, Ashton Stredick for California.
Kai Milner hands it off. Here comes Brooks. Right to left, left to right.
That's a good patient run as well from Stredick. There, you're really seeing what we're talking about when I say this backfield's really deep.
Yes,
we thought it might have even been RB by committee before we knew how dominant Jaden Ott might be today.
Yes, and thank you for that correction, Joe. Ashton Stredick, the running back. Now you see Justin Wilcox trying to play all of his pieces here in the final minute and 20 seconds as the clock keeps ticking. 2nd and 2, ball on the 48-yard line. Milner motions. His tight end, right to left. Milner hands it off. Here comes Stredick.
Busts his way up the middle for enough for a first down, about 4 yards on 2nd down. Good work, Ashton Stredick. He's now got 12 yards, but with Jack Plummer coming out of the game, that'll really wrap things up for his day. His stat board, 23 for 35 on the day. That's a 66% clip. He had 1 interception to 3 touchdowns and an overall QB rating of 152 plus on his first outing as a California Golden Bear. I would say that he passed the sight test at least.
As they enter victory formation, Kai Milner will take the knee. As the clock ticks down.
No timeouts left.
Bears blue and gold faithful stand up on their feet, celebrating their home team in this home season opener here at Berkeley, California. Your final score, 34-13, a 21-point victory for the Bears, keeping the crown once again from 3 years ago, and now 1-0 in play for this start of the 2022 season.
Yeah, and California displaying a new offense pretty much entirely. New starters at RB, tight end, wide receiver, QB. The line really held up, and I'd say my biggest takeaway from today is Plummer has that confidence. He has chemistry with his offensive linemen, has really good vision of pocket presence, and Jaden Ott really splashing onto the scene today.
Yeah.
Over 6 yards per carry, absolute workhorse. Cal's defense didn't have a particularly amazing game, but got off the field when they wanted to and held Davis to just 14.
Jaden Ott, the bright young new Bear on the turf, 17 carries, 104 yards. Jack Plummer with 268.
And the
yards
new weapons
coming basically all from the arm. Yeah, new weapons. Alonzo Gilliam had a good game himself with 115 yards, but it's been a joy and a pleasure to watch. In a game where Cal had a 94% advantage, they did come out swinging and were ultimately able to pull out the victory. Thank you to everyone who was listening here in today's lovely afternoon game on College Football Saturday. Cal versus UC Davis again. Final score 34-13. The Bears with their first victory, and they are perfect so far. Thank you again. This is Ryan Chen and Joseph Scaramuza heading out for this call, but we'll be on air plenty of more times this season for hopefully a promising road ahead for the Blue and Gold.
Great call, Ryan. Thanks for having me. Great prediction as well. Once again, as you mentioned, 34-13 final score.
Love to see it. Hey, Joe, so I was thinking if we could do like the intro real quick.
Yeah, good. Oh, totally.
And I was going to ask you like two things, but like we can stitch this at the very beginning.
Sure.
Like I don't mind doing this, but I'll just pretend like it's literally the start of the game.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
So I'll start.
What you might ask?
So I'm going to ask. Yeah, so I said, tell me a little about this squad, so you can kind of talk about like how this is a new lineup. Go ahead and talk however long you want there. And then I'm going to add on, and then I'm going to also ask you who on Davis's side of the ball should we be keeping an eye out for.
Okay.
It was going to be Gilliam Jr. anyways, but you can talk about him, you can talk about Hastings, whoever you want. Evan Tattersall as well if you want, or Miles McCaskill as like former Bears. Go ahead.
Okay,
but cool. I'm just going to like do this real quick if that's cool.
Oh, that sounds good.
A brand new season and brand new Bears. Welcome to sunny Berkeley, California for Cal's first college football game of the 2022 season. I'm Ryan Chen, joined alongside me is Joseph Scaramuza, broadcasting live from Memorial Stadium on KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM. So at about 1 p.m. Pacific Coast Standard Time, this game will kick off. But first, let's talk about the Bears. Joe, this is a team that went 5-7 last year, 4-5 in conference play. They finished in the top third of the Conference of Champions, became one game short of qualifying for a bowl game. That's also when they had names like Chase Garbers, Trayvon Clark, Nico Remigio, McCain Mateer on the team. Tell me a little bit about this squad for this year.
Right, and you mentioned those names that are gone. Some other ones, especially in the secondary, are sorely missed, and in the linebacking core. California coming into this game with a refashioned roster, and they've plugged those holes on defense with some young talent that's developed in the previous years. Excited to see how this defensive unit really molds together and how dominant they can be, really give up any chunk plays. How consistent throughout the game will they be? Who will score first? California, obviously, their defense is going to be held down by their secondary. That's been Cal's best unit for a while. We'll see how much production the defensive line has, but you turn around and you look at the other side of the ball, it's a completely new look team for California. As you mentioned, uh, Jack Plummer is in, the transfer coming in from Purdue from the Big Ten. Going to be taking the starting snaps for California today. We're going to be seeing our very first view from Jack Plummer, and he's got a lot of weapons to work with. Often, we think about Cal as a team starved for talent out on the edge, but here we have a bunch of new names to see. We got Maven Anderson, who's going to get a start. We have Jermichael Sturdivant, who's going to get a start. Monroe Young, finally getting a lot of snaps this year. Jeremiah Hunter, all those guys. We'll see what kind of production they get and what kind of chemistry they have today with Plummer. A lot of things to watch out for and see. Besides that, also a new running back, Jaden Ott for California to look out for.
Yep. A new quarterback, a new receiving core, a new running back, a new starting tight end in Kaleki Latu. It's a new look Bears, but meanwhile, the Aggies went 8-4 last season and clinched a spot in the FCS playoffs, in which they fell flat in the first round. Nevertheless, they are a very successful team in their respective Big Sky conference under the helm of head coach Dan Hawkins, who actually hired Justin Wilcox as a graduate assistant, and he kind of introduced Wilcox to college football coaching. Hawkins enters his 5th season with the Aggies. So, Joe, who on Davis's side of the ball should we be keeping an eye out for?
As you mentioned, relatively good for FCS school, top 25 in FCS, but also top 10 in rushing for FCS. That's where the UC Davis Aggies get most of their production offensively. They have some really solid players, namely, besides Lan Larson, who will get a few passes out of the backfield, and Hudson, who they love to put in motion. They also have a stud by the name of Lonzo
Gilliam Jr.
Gilliam. Yeah, Lonzo Gilliam Jr. He's just an absolute workhorse. And for Davis, we'll see how much they give him the ball, how much Cal can really plug those holes. That's going to be another huge test for today, California's run defense. And I think that's going to be a big key to the game for both sides today.
Yeah, Gilliam Jr., the team captain for UC Davis. The program's number 2 all-time rusher. He ran for 89 yards last time against the Bears back in 2019. But this game should definitely be an electrifying one to start the Bears' 2022 campaign. Sure, Cal may have lost over half of its starters, I believe 59% from last season, but that just leaves room for new faces to make an impact all year long, like the names you mentioned, Joe.
Right.
Make sure to keep it tuned as we get ready here at Memorial Stadium. You're listening to KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM, your live source for KALX Sports.
Hype. GG, baby.
What's nice about that is that we knew. I love that, the Larison and Hutton. I wouldn't have known that. Or we were going to do so well.
Dude, that was just, I was kind of annoyed, low-key. Like, Hutton's just shifting, like, a jet sweep every single play.
I know, dude.
No, that was a really fun game, though. I mean, lots of new names on the field.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, yeah, I'm super impressed by the pass game, like, the presence in the pocket. Also, like, I just feel like it's so much better than freaking, like, Remigio and Travion Clark.
No, they're fast, bro.
Yeah, like Jake Tonjes as your...
Yeah.
Jake Tonjes is, like, the most solid pass catcher. Nah.
No, I agree. It's like, with every other play, you don't know what's in terms of a pure passing and catching scheme, like, you don't know what's coming. Like, Jeremiah Hunter might run 40 yards out, right? And, like, never has an arm and accuracy to thread that far. Like, that is lethal. Because, like, the Bears are just not a great playing team, right? Like, they're very some players.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Work every down, right? Like,
but yet it,
4 down, like, just get to the first down marker and come on. Like, here, you watch a lot of, like, wow, like, just huge opening, like, plays that just break open.
And when you, yeah, I feel like when those guys, like, start breaking some tackles, like, they broke a couple and turned, like, 10-yard game to, like, 30-yard game a few times today. And when they do that, it just, the whole vibe is just different. It just gives you a different swagger on offense. The defense has to play more conservative.
It is against
Jaden Ott, baby.
It is against Davis, but it's good to see that they run a game where, like, they were expecting.
Yeah, like
winning like a fairly dominating.
Even as shitty as opponent it is, it still feels like a win.
Oh yeah, that's a win. Win's a win, and this is
today. Like they could have come away winning and like felt like a loss, but
exactly. We didn't win by.
Like this feels like it feels like more of a win to me than the last time we played UC Davis, because like I feel like the heart attack during that game was a little bit more intense.
Oh, for sure. And you have like. Which Cal has was like ranked. They beat Ole Miss. That was like the same season. So that was a new at that time. That was a new like Chase Garbers was like
second, yeah.
Yeah, like media.
Oh no, first, yeah, first.
Yeah, I was like, that was a new person.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's also a bit different because
that's good point.